So we are going to jump from the economics fintech sector to the marketing one with Quentin. Quentin, welcome and thank you very much for preparing this presentation about good marketing practices in the blockchain industry. This is the last session for today. So Quentin is CEO of MarkChain, a marketing and PR for blockchain firms. So I give you the word, Quentin, give you the floor. You can start your presentation. I think you have the co-host right, so you will be able to.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Carmen, for the introduction. I will try to share my screen to display the presentation. One minute, sorry. Seems like I've got a little problem to share my screen.
No problem, Quentin. We are having so background noise. It seems like you have birds, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I will close my window.
No,
It would be better.
it's fine. It's just relaxing.
Yes. It should be good in 1 minute. Sorry again.
All right, we can see the screen, your presentation, Quentin.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So hello everyone, really happy to be there today to conclude this first day of the last Blockpool bootcamp. Even if I would have preferred to be in Valencia with you and enjoy the sun, but an online presentation is great too. So in this presentation called Good Marketing Practices in the Blockchain Industry, I will try to briefly go back to the basics of marketing and more particularly the analytical aspect of the marketing plan, then go little by little toward the specificities we can have in an emerging sector like this, the cryptocurrency and the blockchain one. So we took the short presentation on this subject might be relevant as most of you guys, most of your projects are maturing, and it will soon be the time to start the commercialization and to market them. So for this third slide, and before getting to the heart of the matter, let me quickly introduce myself. So I'm Quentin Herbrecht from Rennes in France, but I guess my accent has already given you a clue about that. I'm graduated with a double master on an MBA on the subjects of international purchasing, negotiation and supply chain management, so not much to do with my current job, as you can see. After a year at Coca-Cola company as an international buyer, I became interested in the blockchain and crypto universe in 2017 to gradually create my first company, already specialized in the blockchain marketing, which will then become Markchain. So why Markchain? It's the mix of marketing and blockchain. We made it simple. In order to specialize a little bit in this industry in an official way, I passed a certification at the INSEAD school called the Blockchain Opportunity Analysis, and one at Yale University called the Financial Market. So I'm now the founder of Markchain. So it's one of the first French marketing and communication agency specialized in the blockchain industry, where we have accompanied during these 3 and almost 4 years, more than 50 customers so far. So we started with a lot of ICO, especially during the ICO race during 2017 and 2018. But more and more our customers are of all types. They can be, for example, exchange, cryptocurrency exchange, service provider, blockchain solution. It can be startups to large firms, listed cryptocurrencies like Celsius Network, Sinovate, Name, etc. And I also sometimes personally accompany some project as a consultant, so either as a marketing director, consultant, or marketing advisor, such as, for example, the company SAT for Smart Advertising Transaction Token, who recently raised 7 million USD. And I'm also a mentor within the Blockproof program, where I accompany the Sagnol project. And finally, I am also the French representative of Faster Capital, an incubator on VC in Dubai. Even if we work less and less on the investment side, it's still interesting to have this kind of contact when you work in the when you work with startup. Oops. Okay. Sorry about that, but it seems that I've got a little problem with my presentation. I can go to the slide 2. So I will do it without the presentation, I think.
You can maybe try to click on drop down icon.
Where, sorry?
On the drop down next to the zip extract.
Yeah.
And okay. It's Apple presentation. Okay.
Yeah, I tried everything, but I don't know why. Probably
it's currently showing a preview. So yeah, that's the issue.
Yes, I think totally. So let's do it without the presentation. So first of all, maybe guys, I've got some questions for you. What do you directly think of when I say marketing in the blockchain crypto universe? Do you already have an idea about what is it talking about? Is it specialties? Do you think there is a major difference in the way of communicating between a traditional firm and the blockchain one? There shouldn't be. Depends of your public. More community driven, indeed. I absolutely agree with you, even if, of course, it depends a lot about your target, your customers, etc. But this is true that when we are in the blockchain industry, we try to be the more transparent possible. We try to integrate the community in the decision, these kind of things. So absolutely. And I also agree to say there shouldn't be. There is traditional marketing techniques that can be adapted to the blockchain marketing, but this is kind of the same. Just the tools, the communication support will be, of course, different, but finally the marketing remain the same. Another question: do you know of any specialized communication medium? It can be some media, some influencers, some cryptocurrency aggregators. Maybe do you consult some media to have cryptocurrency news, to keep update about the blockchain community? For example, we've got Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, these kind of things. Yeah.
Twitter as well.
Ether what, sorry?
Twitter. The crypto
oh, yeah.
Twitter.
Crypto Twitter, for sure. Yes, absolutely. So I know there is some marketing agency that know how to bypass this limitation. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Simon Bergena, if you don't talk about blockchain and cryptocurrency in your social media paid advertising, I think there is a way to validate them with Facebook. But this is true if you already did it and you are already blacklisted. That's a bit a pity. And I know a lot of blockchain projects can't enjoy the full potential of social media paid advertising, indeed.
Quentin, I'm Simone. There could be some way to explain yourself if you can speak with someone, but in case of Facebook, you will never reach anyone. You always have an automatically generated email telling that you are selling cryptocurrencies. No, so I never found this. I only did some tries on the marketing, but it's a problem that I found, and I see from the chat that others face the same. So maybe you can give us some trick about it.
Yeah, for sure. So did you already try to make Facebook ads without talking about blockchain, cryptocurrency at all, but just focus on your core? Yes, no, but I know why, even if you don't mention it, it's because I guess your company name on Facebook is Moto Blockchain.
Yes,
and the blockchain world is automatically blacklisted. So in your case, it can be complicated indeed. But like you said, I think if you talk with someone at Facebook who is responsible of that, it is totally possible to find a way to do it.
Yeah. Is there anyone who ever was able to have an answer from someone live in Facebook? Because I only have both emails. Okay, but I don't want to stop that.
No problem. But I'm thinking about that. But indeed, I know that's an issue on Facebook, but not only Facebook, on other social media. And it's a bit of a pity when we can see some shamey publication of advertising on other subjects. So this is not fair at all. Totally agree.
And I'm not speaking about cryptocurrency. So I want to imagine if you are a cryptocurrency company, what problem you could have.
Yes, totally.
Thank you.
For some influencers, there is a lot of them. I can name a few. For example, in the French market, there is Asher, who is a big one, who has been rewarded by the Binance Influencer Award. We've got Elijah-Boom, CryptoBurb on Twitter. On YouTube, you've got Coin Bureau, Voscoin. We've got a huge list and a lot of partnership with influencers specialized in the cryptocurrency. So some are specialized in the mining, some are specialized in the trading. There is several sub-target, let's say, in this cryptocurrency targeting. Okay, so yes, Miesco, maybe it's easier with a marketing agency that already have close connection and relationship with the account manager of Facebook. I know from our side we have a contact there to manage our campaign, but I didn't know they will not respond to individual queries. That's good to know. Okay, thank you everyone. Last little question before going at the heart of the subject. Do you have any particular expectations for this presentation that will allow me to orientate my presentation maybe?
Well, I am interested in B2B marketing.
Okay, perfect. I will try to talk a bit about that. Influencer marketing, okay, but not in the cryptocurrency space. Community building strategies, okay. So I have a little part about that in the presentation. So thank you everyone. And if you have any questions during my presentation, do not hesitate to interrupt me, send a message in the chat or activate your micro, no problem at all. And we will have, of course, have a time at the end of this hour also to discuss together. So for the introduction, as you know, the practice of marketing has greatly evolved in recent years, especially in the age of the web, the social media, the mobile devices, where consumers are constantly solicited on advertising messages abound, losing effectiveness in the process. Today, we don't communicate as we used to do. Or should I say we shouldn't communicate as we used to do at the area of unidirectional messaging from brands to customers only. Communication is now not only bidirectional between brands and consumers, but also multidirectional as we communicate with each other via social media and forums, for example. Concerning blockchain, as you know, it's a new technology. Therefore, a new sector when we have a few benefits of insight, whether to analyze the best practices of a marketing campaign or the relevance of a blockchain solution in a particular sector. So a new technology that is also rapidly evolving, such as its marketing approach. We've got new tools every day, such as the technology. We've got new protocols. We've got new things almost every day in this incredible sector. So in this context, it can be difficult to get a startup off the ground. It is therefore important to learn about global and effective marketing practices from other sectors, which will work well within our industry or will require some adaptation. As well as the history of marketing in the blockchain sector. Also very recent, blockchain marketing has evolved beyond the old approach of having a website, white paper, pitch deck, Reddit, and Telegram channels with aggressive marketing approach. Today, we will need and we will try to go beyond what worked before, and especially during the ICO craze, an important stage where marketing really emerged and began to interest the blockchain companies. All of this without forgetting, of course, your creative touch on the customization side of the marketing compared to your firm. So your solutions, all of you guys, for the most part, are not yet tangible products. And this technology usually already requires a substantial investment to get it up and running. So not much for the marketing budget. But this this does not prevent you from being interested in it. As we said, you can have the best product in the world. If you can't make it known, you will simply have a great product that nobody knows about. That's why you'll need to learn how to market your product. So about the marketing plan, companies often neglect the upstream and marketing analytics part and rush into the communication actions, thinking that they can't go wrong by, for example, publishing a sponsored article on Cointelegraph or displaying a banner ads on CoinMarketCap. This is often a mistake because without a proper marketing plan and a well-defined strategy that meets one or more specific objectives, this communications operation can be poorly adapted and especially poorly optimized. Here, we will therefore provide a brief reminder of the basics of marketing, and in particular the marketing plan, which provide a solid basis for a successful communication campaign. Many marketing agencies obviously offer this type of service, and it can be relevant when it's done by real professionals, especially if you've got the budget or no time to take care about it, or at least if you prefer to focus your time on other activities. But it's also something that can be done by yourself or your team without any problem, in exchange, of course, for a little of involvement. Even if new technologies are being introduced into the marketing mix on consumers' daily lives, certain principles remain when it comes to designing a marketing plan for brand. I'm thinking in particular of the 4 Ps that I guess most of you guys should know. The 4 Ps, who is product, price, promotion, and place, that some people claim to have outgrown or replaced it by the 7 Ps, the 4 Es, etc. But this 4P strategy are still very much adapted to today's reality. So it's important to remember that this 4th P, product, price, promotion, place, should therefore be at the heart of the process of thinking and writing your marketing plan, regardless of the industry in which you operate, whether it's B2B, business to business, or even intra-company, or B2C, business to consumer. So a good marketing plan includes at least the following elements. The definition of your objectives, identify your target and buyer persona, determine your product positioning, so it will be the price, the benefit, design, the analysis designed, select the right communication tools among a panel of tools. It can be the TV, the banner, print, online press articles, social networks, influencers, etc. And after that, choosing the right distribution channels. So, for example, if you choose the media side, you'll need to choose your media, 1, 2, or 3 media to focus on to rush your communication campaign. After that, it will be important to budgeting this whole campaign. And the last point will be to define and measure the KPI, the key performance indicators. So to start with the first part, define your objectives. So a marketing plan must meet business objectives. That's a must. Your business may have one or more of the following objectives for the coming year. So it can be increase in turnover and sales. It can be increase awareness of the brand, or maybe a particular services that you just developed. It can be building loyalty in a customer segment. Increase income by types of clientele. It can be improve the perception of a certain market segment towards your products or brands. You've got plenty of objectives that need to be defined first. Obviously, we will not use the same approach nor the same budgets according to these objectives. Communication tactics must therefore be derived from strategy aimed at achieving these objectives. For example, choosing to bet Facebook or a corporate brochure. For the second part of the marketing plan, identify your target and your buyer personas. I always ask my customers, my clients, who is your typical customers? Do you have an idea of the ideal customer for your product or service? Of course, you can have different ones, but the worst answer I received is everybody from 10 to 80 years old who earns a good living, for example. Marketing your blockchain startup can be a challenge due to the diversity of the target markets you will focus on. as part of your marketing strategy. We often called the cryptocurrency community, let's call them the cryptocurrency enthusiasts, but you will have the cyberpunk, that's where by total decentralization on public chains, to the Bitcoin maximalist, to the trader and speculator, to potentially mainstream adoption or other targets that never heard about blockchain. Knowing who you are targeting and why you are targeting them will be the core of your outreach strategy. How you put your blockchain marketing strategy together will depend on your product, on your ability to define your value proposition and target market clearly. The important thing here also will be to identify the target market in which your marketing dollars will have the best return on investment. It will therefore be necessary to precisely define your core targets. Be careful, the idea is not to define all the people who might be interested in your product, but to define the 2 or 3 targets that would be the most likely to buy your product or that have the best potential. And therefore the target hertz that will allow you to develop as quickly as possible, except of course if you are looking to penetrate a particular target, for example the Asian market or etc. Is it therefore necessary to create one or more specific profiles that will answer the following questions? Who are there? Who are your target? Which age group? Which social and professional categories? What nationality and languages do they speak? What are their tastes and habits? What do they do on the web? What are their needs and problems that you will address, that you will answer? What could be their obstacles for buying your product? And these questions can of course be adapted according to your sector. In our case, we can add the following question. Do they know the blockchain cryptocurrency? If yes, what do they use it for? Is that more speculator, developer that are here for the tech, for the vision of liberty? Which application do they use? Which wallet, which media, which exchange platform, etc. It is not mandatory. Some of you will tell me that they have no interest in communicating to the crypto enthusiast target, but we will see later that this can still be interesting. Even for people that really don't care about this specific target. If your target is the B2B, you could also have asked yourself other types of questions, such as what kind of companies are you targeting? Is that mainly startups or large group? In which industries, etc., etc. Yes, I'm seeing the questions. I'm sorry about the slides, but I've got a little problem with my presentation and I can't manage to find a way to go to the slide 2. So we will do without the presentation. Sorry about that. So for the next part, we will talk about the product positioning. So in the same vein as mentioned in the previous point, your product should not try to appeal to everyone. It is important to ask yourself the ultimate question: what makes you different from others? In other words, what is your competitive advantage? Why you create this film, this product? The thing or the way that makes you unique. That's simple as it is. You can have the best marketing in the world, but if the product is bad, you won't make it. You won't make a miracle. Sorry. Unfortunately, as previously said, the opposite is not always true. You can have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, or if the price is not well adapted to the market demand, you will be wrong. To define this positioning, we will ask again some questions to ourselves. It will be very important. What do your closest competitors do and how they do it? What's their range of products? Which solutions they are selling, products or services? What are their targets? What are the prices? If you haven't already done so, an in-depth analysis of the competition or a competitive intelligence is always relevant to do. Next question will be, what's your added value, your competitive advantage? It can be the experience of your team. It can be an innovative technology, an answer to a new market problem, your attractive prices, or on the contrary, a high quality of services that justify a high price. This part is very important and will allow you to know what will be the important points to emphasize in your communication. For example, do you have a member of your team who was the CEO of Ethereum? Do you have a brand new technology? You offer well-known services but have divided the price by 4? All these elements will be very important to highlight and to use in your communication. Last question, define your price range. Are you targeting a large number of sales and you can allow yourself to have lower margin, or just few and qualitative sales, so you will have to have higher margin to be to have some benefits at the end of the year, while comparing your positioning to the expectations of your buyer persona, always. For the next part of the marketing plan, selecting the right communication tools and channel. So this is too often the stage where some managers start, when the tools and tactics should be chosen according to the objectives and not the other way around. For a company launching a new product or service aimed at a large audience, for example, it is possible that an investment in mass media may be a wise choice. For another brand that specializes in the niche market aimed at young, hype people, a digital marketing initiative via messaging application, such as Snapchat, Instagram, may be a good choice. There is no magic formula, nor is it universal. So it will be interesting to compare the global audience of each solution first, be it the TV advertisement, print or online press, banner advertisements, social networks, social media paid ad, SEO ranking. Each tool has its own code, its advantage and weaknesses. Once you have selected different communication tools, you will have to choose a few from a multitude of solutions on channel. For example, if you choose the online press, you have the choice to go to the blockchain, to the finance, to the tech specialized press, which is more likely to reach young people or old people, company managers, etc. For example, you will say, I want to penetrate the cryptocurrency enthusiast target market. So you'll need to inquire about the audience of several media, let's say CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, News BTC, etc., to see if their audience can match with your buyer persona. Next point on the marketing plan, we've got the budgeting part. The notion of budget is primordial on conditions to a certain extent the level of success that can be expected for the marketing of a brand. Even with the best of intentions, you can accomplish great things with a marketing budget of, let's say, $500 per year. But we agree that you could do much more with 5,000, 50,000, etc. However, the amount does not guarantee the success, not at all. Some operations require little or no marketing budget and can be really more efficient that an operation that you will pay $2,000 or more. For example, having a great strategy on social media, a great social media management can provide great results, and it does not necessarily cost a lot of money, or it can be also almost free if you do this in-house. Also, the marketing budget should first and foremost be aligned with the degree of maturity of your company and or your product and services. Usually more investment is required at launch, logic, while budgets are reduced when a product reaches a certain level of maturity. More often than not, this amount will be represented as a percentage of estimated sales. It's always better to work like this, but be careful because some companies include salaries while others only include media placements. So yes, it will be important to be careful and compare similar data when setting the marketing budget.
Quentin, sorry to interrupt, but we are still seeing the first slide.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, like I just say, I've got a little problem with my presentation. Don't know why, but I can't move to the second slide.
Oh, okay, sorry then.
No problem, and I'm really sorry about that. No, I tried again, but I don't know why, but I can't do it properly. So to continue, the last point about the marketing plan will be define and measure the KPI, the key performance indicators. So last but not least, how to measure your marketing efforts and investments. You may know the expression, if you can't measure it, why do it? Here again, I too often see marketing efforts that are based on vague objectives, such as we want to increase our notoriety. Okay, great. So how are you going to measure that? However, this is not so difficult, as long as the tactics are derived from the objective defined at the outset, and for each of these tactics, performance indicators have been identified. For example, if increasing notoriety is indeed one of the objectives, we must first define the parameters. So we are looking to increase the reach of our publication on Facebook by 25% over the next 6 months, or we want to achieve a 10% increase, in the mention about our brand in press articles. There are an infinite number of tools to measure the impact of a campaign. And for this, we already need to measure the impact of one operation, of each operation. For example, another example, if you publish an article in a well-known online newspaper, be sure to get a tracking link that will redirect to your website, allowing you to measure how many people have visited your site thanks to this article. But that's not all. Publishing an article on external media increases the SEO, so be sure to integrate a dofollow link that will increase the SEO rank of your website. It can be analyzed with tools, for example, such as Herbrecht with backlink SEO analysis. Also, you can make sure that the article is referenced by Google and that the keywords that count for you are highlighted in the SEO of the article. So a panel of the best practices exists for each communication operation, as well as a panel of solutions to analyze the ROI, so the return on investment. This is where digital marketing usually comes into its own because of the many performance indicators that can be tracked over time, especially on the web and social media, unlike a print press article whose impact can be harder to measure and track. Once you have carried out your first marketing actions, it will be important to repeat the process. Analyze each operation, each channel, improve the content if you can, the content, the form of the message, and start again with the operations that work the best. When you manage to find the magic formula to get €2 for every dollar invested in the marketing, you have won it all. So this is why usually we prefer, I talk by experience with my customers, we prefer to try at the beginning of the marketing campaign, not a lot, but several channels. For example, let's say 4 or 5 media. We will try 3-4 campaigns on the social media with several content, and we will each time analyze what works the best. It's always important because the content will be different for each company, of course, and it will be interesting to try some things and see what works the best, and continue to work with the best tools, the best content, and always analyze the KPI to see again what works the best. Yes, indeed, we will share the slides afterwards with pleasure. After that, we will focus a bit on the marketing for blockchain and crypto communities. So as you probably know, a whole ecosystem has developed as a result of the emergence of cryptocurrency and blockchain. You now have specialized media such as Cointelegraph, Coindesk, etc. You've got specialized forums such as Bitcoin Talk, Cryptalk, etc. You've got influencers, Voscoin, CryptoBurb, Coin Bureau. You also got some social networks, some media, specialized media, where everyone can publish, for example, Medium, but also PublishOX that will remunerate all the content creator in cryptocurrencies, and the whole bunch of tools that allow you to reach the target. Let's call them the crypto enthusiast. Again, there are many subcategories of crypto enthusiasts that you will already have analyzed in your marketing plan for buyer persona. For a certain number of companies, you will directly see the interest of communicating with this target because it will represent your core buyer target. For example, you developed a cryptocurrency exchange platform, you provide trading analysis signals, etc. So of course, this target is really relevant for you. The people who use and who think cryptocurrency. But for others, the relationship will be less obvious. You will tell me, why would you want to reach this target when the blockchain is only a technology within your process and your product is intended for a mainstream audience or companies being in the B2B, in the luxury sector, let's say. So is it therefore obvious that the crypto community is not your core target and that you must concentrate your efforts elsewhere? However, we can still find some interest there. Let's take the example of Michael Saylor. I guess a lot of you guys know him, who is the CEO of MicroStrategy, who has invested a part of his cash flow, of the cash flow of his company MicroStrategy in Bitcoin. So he had no direct interest in communicating about it, but has nevertheless become one of the emblematic figures nowadays of the Bitcoin movement. Why he did this? He should just invest in Bitcoin and not talk about it. Except to declare it to the SEC, of course. Before that, I knew very little about this company, MicroStrategy, before its CEO made the headlines in many media. I think you ask today any person who is involved in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, I'm sure they know now this business and have researched their business about this business, about what MicroStrategy are doing. The feeling of belonging is strong within the crypto community, and many of them are real passionate enthusiasts who will not fail to discuss among themselves the crypto blockchain initiatives of the different company made in the sector. Among this community, you can find the little students who have invested their savings, as well as the passionate developer or the business manager who is interested in blockchain to develop his business. There is a lot of different profile in this cryptocurrency enthusiast target. And blockchain is and remains a trending and hype topic of conversation, which many are talking about. For many companies that are starting to use this technology, it makes sense to communicate about it with the crypto community. The blockchain nowadays is well seen and conveys values of transparencies and ethics, while allowing to innovate and remain competitive in its sector of activity, whatever the sector is, almost. So it shows that you are technology ahead of the game, but be careful. I'm not saying that you should take advantage of this hype to communicate on this subject without any foundation. It will only work if your blockchain integration is relevant and brings a real added value to your industry. To conclude, I will try to give you some recommendations and tips for people that may not have the time or the budget to externalize his marketing to a marketing agency. So I will try to give you some tips and especially some things that before working on the marketing, on the communication things, I took it was very complicated to do on our own, but it can be done by everyone just by dedicated a bit of his time. So the first one will be the press relations side that you can do on your own. For example, you can create a media kit. It's the equivalent of a pitch deck, but intended for journalists and not investors. It's about 10 pages that will present the company and its team. The goal is that if a journalist comes across your website, he just has to click on the press tab to get all the information to write an article about your company. You can also build a small database of journalist contacts. It's quite easy to find the email of a journalist who is interested in your industry. Don't hesitate to send them your media kit as well as news about your company from time to time and start building a relationship with them. Journalists want sources, want news, want innovative and new projects. It is important for them to have sources and to present several projects. So usually they will be very interested in your email and will probably answer to you positively or negatively. Here, of course, the quality comes first. No need to extract 1,000 email from untargeted journalists and send a mass email with MailChimp. It's always better to have 20 to 40 specialized journalists with whom you communicate from time to time. For example, there is also several websites, for example, Harrow, who stand for Help a Reporter Out. You can subscribe, it's free, it's a website. And every day you can receive 1 mail or 3 mails at your convenience per day from journalists who need a source to comment on a news story. It's completely free and will allow you to appear in well-known media articles for free if you have a little time to consecrate. Many media use these platforms, including crypto media such as Cointelegraph, Finance Magnates, Forbes, Bloomberg, New York Times, etc. And every day you will have some questions. For example, it will be, hello everyone, I'm writing an article about the new Bitcoin dump, I don't know, and I'm looking for a source to comment on this about technical analysis in the trading, etc. It can be about different industries, about any kind of news. And I'm sending you the website just here in the chat if you would like to check after. Another little tip, it's create sales funnel. It's about creating a path for the user. For example, you will display one of your banner ad on a website. When a visitor clicks on it, it will bring him directly to your website. When he's on your website, a pop-up appears and propose to enter his email to get a gift, an ebook, or a promotion. It can be any kind of thing. The goal being to enter his contact, his mail in your database. Once done, the pop-up can change and ask him to join your Telegram group to receive his gift. You must not let him go. This is what we call sales funnel between several support to create a path for the potential customers, the visitors. After that, try to integrate the blockchain code in your process and in your marketing. I have remarks just before in the chat about the community-driven marketing that is very important. So before talking about this, we can talk about the transparency. So of course, this is not for all the firm, but the firm that can publish his code on GitHub, for example, who can publish the project on Product Hunt, who can integrate the community, who can, for example, make a bounty bug for the hackers. You can, for example, make some giveaway, try to integrate the best you can the community in your process, also in the decisions, as the blockchain protocol allows to do. But this is true, the transparency in the blockchain is really relevant when you can do it in terms of marketing, but also the community driven. If you can engage, first of all, if you can create a community around your project, and after that, engage them in the decision by testing your product, etc. This is the best to do in the blockchain sector. Last but not least, if you can prefer the decentralization, if possible, that's really the best to do. After that, don't be too global. I often have customers who ask me to communicate on the most famous crypto networks, and especially English speaking. However, there are thousands of them. It is not necessarily because we will target the best media, the hugest media, with a large traffic that the article will be more read. I often take the example of the France, for example. You just have 3-4 crypto media, 3-4 big influencers, 2-3 big recognized forums. So for a much lower marketing budget, you will often manage to reach many more people by specializing your communication. Next, it's very important to include technical and educational content. Very often, blockchain protocols or the integration of the technology into your company's process seems easy to understand for you, but not for everyone. And it's important to not forget that. In our industry, it's very important to introduce educational information so that everyone can understand how it works without going into professional jargon. You can also, of course, include technical pieces for the people who are more aware about the technology, but it's always important to democratize your film, your product, on how it works. Last things, in terms of marketing, we often hear that personal branding, content creation, it can be blog creation, YouTube video, social network management is necessary for the proper development of a community. Certainly, this is true. These tools can be a very good lever of reputation and development of the turnover for your company. However, a lot of people that just started their business focus all their efforts in this. If you have no customers or are at the very beginning of your business, it is preferable to concentrate your efforts on other tasks, such as prospecting, business development, and other things. So this is the end of the presentation. I hope you guys enjoy this little reminder about the good practices about general marketing, and especially the analytical side of building a good marketing plan that will help you to have the most relevant communication strategy and campaign, and also this bit focusing about what works in marketing in the blockchain industry. And I hope it will help you to develop your brand on your newly product to commercialize your revolutionary solutions. And if you have any questions, please go ahead. With pleasure, I'm here for that.
Thank you, Quentin, very much. It's a pity that you cannot share your presentation, but yes, afterwards you can send it to me, and we will also share it with the participants through the website or directly to them, so they are able to see it. And yes, if you have some questions, we have 6 minutes more until 6 to finalize the day. So if you have some question about marketing, about the presentation of Quentin, please go ahead and use this time. It doesn't seem so. I think maybe, yes, Miesco. Any particular examples of blockchain-based products that made a great marketing campaign and reached mainstream attention?
That's a good question. Usually I'm talking about Brave. Brave browsers that you probably know, that allow, it's not really mainstream adoption, but Brave allow anyone to be remunerated by seeing some advertising in cryptocurrency. So we know they didn't penetrate the mainstream adoption market, but a lot of people that care about their data, for example, we all know that big social media and even Google use your data to sell their advertising. In the process of Brave, for example, all their marketing campaign was built on this, the data privacy. If they use your data, you will earn cryptocurrency. And I know a lot of people use Brave now as a browser, even if they don't know at all the cryptocurrency side of the thing. But this is true for the moment. In theory, the blockchain can solve almost all the problem of the world, but in terms of practices, there is still too few blockchain projects that kept their promises and that are largely known by the mainstream adoption. Wordproof.com. Okay, I don't know at all this project. Can you maybe tell us a bit more about that? But this is true. What you said is very true. Usually, it's not necessarily interesting to put the blockchain, to highlight the blockchain. Usually I tell my customers, the less you talk about blockchain, the better it is for the communication, because for example, my mother will never understand a word about blockchain, will never create a wallet, will never buy some Ethereum with MetaMask, etc. So the less you talk about blockchain, of course, it depends about your product, but usually this is true. You don't need to mention blockchain to be known.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I agree. I think sometimes people get scared if you throw too much technology at them. Especially if you over-focus on the technology and not the solution you provide. I think Wordproof is a great example of marketing done well for a blockchain company, I suppose. So you could check them out as for inspiration. They won the €1 million for Blockchain for Good EU prize in 2019, I think, or maybe 18 even. So their budget might be a bit different from ours, but nevertheless, you know, you can do the same basic stuff, right? So I think their communication is very well done. So yeah. Okay,
interesting. On what they do concretely? Because to be honest, I never heard about them till now.
Yeah, so without turning into a commercial for Wordproof, you know, that it's actually, the technology is pretty simple. They timestamp articles on websites in order to show that they have not been changed, or to show the change history, you know, and the idea is to battle fake news and also improve search engine results. So that's basically it. And now they are working with big media companies, and I think they have like 10,000s of registered customers. So I think it's one of the few areas where I think blockchain technology has a chance to enter mainstream in the next, let's say, couple of months. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Indeed, I think there is a lot of firms who use this technology of timestamping some documents. It can be for the NFT, the art creation, music, these kind of things. But yes, indeed, that's a great use case. If you're trying to talk, Carmen, we can't hear you.
Oh my God, again, sorry. So I was saying that if there are no more questions, we can just conclude this first day. Thank you very much, Quentin, for presenting, for preparing this session. For everyone, it's the last session, so we are a bit tired, but it was very interesting. I also learned new things, like there are blockchain influencers. I didn't know this. So thank you very much. And yeah, thank you all the participants. Remember that tomorrow we continue with the bootcamp. We start at 9 and we have more interesting sessions. So see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Goodbye.